Next up, more about the music. One of the best places in town to go listen to intimate music, the Bluebird. So we have next, Erika.
Thank you, Heather, and thanks so much to everybody for being here with this weather that we have. Let me get familiar with where we are. Okay, Bluebird Cafe, maybe you're familiar with it. 90 seats. The Bluebird Cafe has been around for 35 years. Thank you. I've been there only 33. I started as a waitress there in 1984. But in this situation, as you know, we control the Bluebird very well because we have 90 seats and we have to. So we always will have a line. We have people outside waiting to get in, but we keep it, it's kind of persnickety the way we operate. Here is the reason for our being, the songwriters. Beautiful situation, again, very close. People are together experiencing the music, amazing. This happened. Yep. Nashville. And then this happened. And then this happened. So we went from a fan-based music club to a club that became a celebrity with thousands and thousands and thousands of people trying to get in the club, mad, so forth on that. So I just have to say, from my own background, there's me as a baby. I grew up in a situation, my mother was in the Royal Air Force in London. This was her childhood. My father saved people on a burning ship, and that resulted in them both having PTSD. And my childhood was growing up in a very dramatic, volatile, addictive situation. That prepared me for the chaos that would come for my later life. I came to Nashville from Boston and went to Belmont University. Yes, my alma mater. At that time, I was looking for a job, and I looked everywhere around the area that I lived, including applying at the Bluebird Cafe. I didn't hear anything back for a couple weeks, so I got a little persnickety myself. And not too long after that, I found another job, but I got a call from Amy Kurland, who is here today supporting me. I appreciate that. She called me, and she said, would you like to come work at the Bluebird Cafe? Now, I was interested in the Bluebird Cafe because David Grisman played there. I was a huge fan. I had spent my childhood listening to transistor radios to avoid all the trauma that was going on, so I was a huge music fan at the time. And Amy said, would you like to come and work? And I said, are you kidding me? I've got a job. And I hung up the phone. A little voice in my head said, turn around and pick up the phone. Thank God, because if I had not done that, I would not be where I am today. So some of my other friends talked about that little voice in your head. I'm very much a believer in that. I studied philosophy. That's Aristotle, Plato, and Socrates, for those of you who didn't study philosophy, luckily. But these were my people: Martin Heidegger, existentialist; Friedrich Nietzsche, another existentialist. And that's what I thought I was going to do. I never had an idea that I would work in music. I was going to be a philosophy professor. I had a PhD program in the works at Vanderbilt or Temple. I deferred my enrollment. And that's us at the Bluebird Cafe. That was our Christmas card, so you can see that's me in the center. I really did work there. And this was what was happening at the Bluebird Cafe at the time. This was the great in-the-round creation that happened. And these were the people that I got to, the other philosophers that I got to be around, which was an amazing experience for me. And even though my intention was never to go into the music business, they spoke to me. And I got to talk to them and tell them how much their music meant to me because I was carrying trays over their head. It was incredible. And such a grassroots experience. There she is. She changed my life again because when I left, I graduated from Belmont in '88. I went home to Massachusetts, and I was working in the marketing, a builder, and Amy recommended me for a position booking Summer Lights. Now, I had never done anything like that before in my whole entire life. I didn't know anything about backline. I didn't know what a contract looked like. Never heard of the Musicians Union, which did cause me some trouble at the time. And this was a huge festival that was here in town. 300 acts. I had $100,000 to book everybody. It was a real challenge, but a great challenge because it got me to meet every single person in town, from record labels to dance groups to theater groups. It was incredible. It was an incredible event. This was our team. And we went out on the road and did road shows too, so I learned how to pack a semi. I had a great experience with that. And went from there, I left that job to go to run Tin Pan South in year 5, which I put lots of systems in place that are in place today, literally today, because I will be leaving here to go work on Tin Pan South tonight because we're in the middle of the festival. I still am co-director of the festival, but worked there for many, many years, 5 or 6, and then went to the Country Music Hall of Fame, where I was hired as director of public programming, which was amazing because I got to create the programming in the new museum. And that was the songwriter sessions, a whole variety, the dancing, which I like to dance, so I would dance with the attendees. It was a great experience. And then I got promoted after 6 months to Vice President of Marketing and Community Outreach. Sounds great. I took that job on, my actual first day on the job was 9/11. And as we know, that was the time that tourism dried up. I was responsible for 7/8 of the museum's overall budget in my department, and we had no tourism. Quite a challenge. I did that for 2 years. I got to be friends with Cindy Walker, who's right there in the dress that her mother made for her in the BMI dinner. Sidebar is, when I would try to hire people, I would take them around the museum, I would plant them in front of that video, and if they didn't cry, their resume went into the shredder. Because I love that woman. She was my friend. She would call me and tell me she loved me. That was a great experience there. I went to graduate school then. I'm an artist, so this is some of my artwork just to give you a sense of that. Went to graduate school, and at the time I went back to work. I left the Hall of Fame because after 2 years of wanting to kill myself in tourism, I was so far away from music and the things that connected me to spirit and life. I decided I would leave there without a job, never done that before in my life. Left there, freelanced, applied to graduate school, and went to graduate school. Bart Herbison at NSAI asked me to come back to NSAI, which I did 3 days a week, worked in my studio 4 days a week. It was a blissful existence, and I was so happy when I got out of graduate school and thought, I'm going to do this. This is really good. 3 days a week with songwriters, 4 days a week making art. I could really live that way. Amy came back again. She decided she wanted to retire and decided she wanted to present to the NSAI the opportunity to take over running the Bluebird Cafe. That was great, except for then it was me, which was great, don't get me wrong. It was just like, wow, how am I going to uphold that legacy? How is it possible to take on something that I loved so dearly and try and make what Amy created as an organic, spiritful place and make sure that that remained the same. And that has been my challenge ever since then. And as we know, the TV show, these are now my philosophy people. Dave Grohl, Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, they have replaced Heidegger and Nietzsche for me. Don't tell those guys, although I don't think they'll care. The spirit of the Bluebird is so significant to Nashville and I think our community, and that has been an incredible a weight, a responsibility, an opportunity. We have grown the Bluebird Cafe. This was something Amy initiated and I kept developing with Robert Redford's Utah property. So we do shows. This is our 15th year, and you can see this amazing event. People are as quiet as they are at the Bluebird Cafe. They are so amazing. They have learned so well, and it's so very connected. Yeah, we shush them there. But they've learned. We don't have to. And then we took the Bluebird to London the past 2 years. Now that is an audience that is no need of shushing. They know all the words to all the songs. So we were part of Country to Country and sold out 4 shows in an hour. We also are going to be part of Opry City Stage in New York City. So we'll have Bluebird representation, not just representation of bringing our songwriters up there, but an opportunity for the Bluebird to be a community builder of songwriters in New York City. Because without that sense, to me, very much so, the Bluebird is spirit of community. It is a place where Amy started this, where I have an incredible team who are also here tonight, Jamie and Margaret, who have worked for 10 years to keep this going, to make sure that the songwriters are the people that are considered all the time, and that that room maintains an atmosphere of creation, of opportunity, of trial and error, a laboratory and a presentation stage, so that songwriters always have a way for people to appreciate the work that they do. And I think my time's up. So thank you again. Thanks for letting me talk about that. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Erika.